and then it could all be over. And we're going to kick off to the top right-hand side of the map. We are going to start with that purple Zerg from Onside Gaming. It is Solar.
Love that zoom. And in the bottom left, for Prep Esports, it is the yellow Protoss player, the Chintoss Classic. There it is. There he is. Looking ready, looking fired up, good to go. I kind of want to speak to the point you made a little bit, is that I'm actually a big fan of the way Solar plays because it feels like he's so unpredictable. We've already got something actually a little bit interesting right here. We've got Solar going for the 15 hatch, and he is going to get it down by the skin of his teeth right there. He actually sent that drone like 2 pixels a little too far and almost got caught, but getting that hatch first, advantage Solar already in the mind games.
Oh yeah, I mean just the fact that, you know, now you've sent this probe across the map for what? Yeah, he gets the hatchery down. And Solar just going to try and actually just chase this probe down, man. He's like, oh, I'm going to stay on it, leave this drone chasing you. Yeah. Get out of here, he says.
Yeah, and just a tiny bit of a smirk right there from Solar. That was kind of nice. It was like, he was like, haha, gotcha.
Got him.
Got him.
Here we go. Oh, always the most important thing, the probe micro. Actually, it's kind of cool to see, because if this is me, I'm like right-clicking my probe and shift-clicking it around the whole hatchery, going back home, building a couple things, coming back. Oh yeah, still there, but Classic, he doesn't need no shift commands. He's always back here. Obviously, you want to try and annoy this man, and it actually is kind of useful, man. You can deny 70 minerals if you do it properly, so
yeah.
Something you want to do. And of course, you've got to be precise back at home. It's all good being quick, but as a Protoss, you've got to be very precise to get that wall off up and set up correctly.
And to speak to that point, can we take a quick peek at that wall? Because I think the pylon is a little too far back right there. I'm not...
You can't wall top left with that pylon.
Too far.
Absolutely.
Bump, bump, ba-dum, boo. Yeah, not going to be able to do the 3-building wall. Going to have to get a little bit janky. And you know what? He talked about having Hero as an inspiration. I don't think this is the kind of thing you want.
Yeah, Hero's walls have also been a little bit wild as of late. This is definitely not one of the things you're meant to take inspiration from. It's like, oh, you want to link flip me? Come right in. Yeah, the Stargate obviously can't go down the wall then. And that's something that you usually do put in the wall, because what benefit do you have from hiding it? You know, the opponent sees there's no warp gate for a while. There's just nothing to hide. So yeah, Stargate is just going to go down the main base, which, like I said, it's just unnecessary. Better to have that wall fully up. And just going to see this Adept is going to come across. We'll see if Classic can find any damage, as Solar just goes to 3 bases. And of course, it'll be a little while till we see what he really wants to do. For now, it's all going to be about Classic and the Stargate.
Yep. Yeah. The only other thing I'll mention about that wall is I always wonder, even if I'm like 99% sure, I'm like, yeah, he definitely messed that wall up, like it was a mistake. There's always just the thing in the back of my mind is like, but did he though? Was it a bait? And I'm like, no, it was a mistake. And I'm like, but was it though?
Yeah, it's there's always that little question mark, right? But Oracle on the way is just so standard, right? And I just don't see what Solar could think this would be otherwise. There's just no other inclination. There's the pylon in a weird position. So now Solar just sees the full wall off as well. It's like, yeah, this definitely wasn't meant to be kind of a thing. As Link Speed will finish, and a few Lings will chip across the map to see if they can do much. Second Oracle is on the way. I mean, it's always a question, right? How many Oracles do you want to end up on? 2, 3? We know Creator likes to build a couple Oracles and build Void Rays still, which is very kind of unlike the meta game right now. So there's always going to be a couple questions. I actually think the interesting thing as well, only 1 Adept, and then we moved into a single Stalker. So maybe there is a bit of a mind game to it, right? The Stalker's there. It's like, you know, maybe is, hey, look, I need something to push this Overlord back. It's not a Stargate. But yeah, obviously, like, yeah, maybe just, like I say, a bit of a mind game early on and just trying to hide things. The double Oracles go out on the map together. And yeah, maybe it really was all intentional.
Yeah, entirely possible. Also important to note, only expands, takes that 3rd base with just 2 units there. Kind of pushes the edge of greed. It's legal, but you got to be careful with it. We are going to see the Oracles getting on in here. Ooh, they're going to catch a couple of drones on the transfer. Actually, a lot of drones on the transfer. Ooh, don't bring that Oracle back in.
Yeah, just taking a lot of damage, but 5 drones is obviously really nice from Classic, and both Oracles get to stay alive. He's on his way to the Twilight and Forge behind this, so we get a good idea of what we're following up with. Most likely a bunch of Blink Stalkers. Maybe in some wild world he does play something of a charge setup. And Solar is showing us what he wants to do as well. That very fast melee upgrade, that means you hit +2 melee very quickly, so you can really be deadly with banelings into mineral lines. That is all very important, of course.
Yeah, we've also got Solar focusing on creep this matchup. Anyone who's been following it knows that it's become so much more important to get that creep spread up. Really, the decision points we look for in the early game, mid game for the Protoss player, the Zerg player, are missile versus melee. How fast is the 4th hatch for the Zerg? Do we see a forge from the Protoss player, which we obviously do? So it looks like we're going to be seeing most likely a hero style coming on out. And nice cup. Oh. Okay, no. I thought he was going to get both those probes, actually. I was like, oh, nice pickoffs from Solar. It's still nice. He gets 1 probe, but classic, getting some good early damage. And, yeah, we'll see. Ooh.
This is... Yeah,
that's
actually
weird.
going to get in here and get a couple of drones as Solar just didn't quite have the queens there. They were pushing some creep out instead. So obviously 61 drones and wants to just get up to that a little further. He's not looking to be super aggressive right away. As you hit Lair, we'll see exactly what he wants to do, but there is a world where Solar just plays very aggressively off of Lair as well, right? Where you can just say, cool, Ling, Bane, high numbers, maybe some Hydras, and just attack, attack, attack. There's also that world where he plays a bit of Ling, Bane, Hydra, and he just starts to get towards Lurkers, especially against this gateway composition. The Lurker transitions sometimes can be deadly. If you hit them like just right, the Stalkers, not really much else, a couple of Archons, right? Just not things that get through Lurkers easily. They're going to instantly drop an Infestation Pit, so looking straight towards the Hive Tech at the very least.
Yeah, and that's going to be pretty important against what we're seeing out of Classic. Classic playing very kind of counter meta with just one difference right here. The extremely quick Storm. And we got Harstam on the analyst desk. I'm pretty sure he's, wiping his hands together. He's like, oh, this is enlightened Protoss right here. We've got the 6 gases, but it's kind of a mixture. He's still got that extremely fast 4th base. Showed Solar that, or rather Solar scouted it, and he takes advantage of that information. Oh, but High Templar, I think he just scouted them. Oh, that's actually huge.
Yeah, I think those Lings probably saw that right there, as you do see the Oracles is clearing out some creep. Let's just get info. Have Swarm Host. Okay, the last thing I was thinking about actually was Swarm Host when the Infestation Pick came down.
Yeah.
We're going to pick the Nidus up. Yeah, that's kind of wild. Storms obviously can deal with Locust Waves, but then it's less Storms available for the Ling Bane after, so the Locust can get the Ling Bane forward. Oh. We lose 1 Oracle, and actually Oracles are really important to track the Swarm Host and maybe even put some damage on them.
Yeah, not to mention the Stasis Wards. If you get a Stasis Ward on some Swarm Hosts, the Locusts expire well before the Stasis Ward would, so they just all die. Now you can drop a single Locust on top of it, but that's extra actions, that's extra intensity. Oh, we see a little bit of a slow warp in pylon right there. Very slowly pushing that away, and it is going to be the Nidus Worm coming in at that, what is that, like the 9:30 base, 10 o'clock, maybe an early lunch, late, maybe a brunch position.
The brunch Nidus.
The brunch Nidus.
Well, most Royals players don't want to have a Nidus for brunch, as we are going to drop on bottom side as well. And of course, you want to ping pong different directions. And this is what the Oracles are meant to be great for, denying these Niduses, or at least slowing one position down. So you have to do less guesswork after. There's nothing on this top side to protect this first round of Swarm Hosts. They go in, cannon goes down. I was going to say, maybe we just target down the Nexus straight away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he went a little bit late towards it, but he still easily gets it. That's the firepower of those Swarm Hosts. At the same time, Phalanx just crash up the ramp and they connect pretty big. 5 High Templar just died, and this game is turning into a disaster from Classic, who has very little left to work against these Lings and stuff. Plus 2 melee about to finish, as we are going to be seeing another Nidus coming up even closer forward. The Oracle is here, but man, these Swarmers will be able to get out if they want to. Storm's over here, not enough to kill off the Lings. There's another round of Banes coming online. That Nidus in the forward position doesn't do much, but guess what? The Swarm Host is going to come in from the south. They don't even want to be at the top. That base is already dead. Hit another base. Cancel this one or kill this one right now. And Classic's army's moving away from it. He is turning around and coming back, but I just don't know if he's going to have enough. With the Super Battery, I guess so. And a Storm as well. He will have enough to hold this wave, but man, this is rough. Solar is all over him in this game 1.
Absolutely crushing it is Solar. He is not giving Classic any room to breathe. This is phenomenal play out of Solar. Very unique setup. Oh, and a nice surround coming in on the army. And I was going to say, he doesn't need to disengage. He can just kill off that Archon, kill off that Immortal. And I think he can send the Banes even right into the mineral line.
Yeah, why stop,
right?
This
is looking Snowball City.
Snowball City, as a few Banes is going to roll to the upper left side as well. Find maybe a few probes over here. Just whatever, right? You're stopping an economy. At this point, Classic's economy is still pretty good, right? It's not like he's on a low work account, but he's not had that base top left for a while. I think it's almost inevitable that this base goes down right now if these Swarm hosts want to target it. They're going to just take the fight on the army initially as well. You don't even need the base. Now you do get probes, and now that economy will look bad worker-wise as Solar is going to find game 1 of this best of 5, and he's going to be able to get off to that lead here in this series as Classic. Really just no preparation for Swarm Host, or not really any realization that it could be Swarm Host, and it caught him very off guard. He just wasn't ready to fight that.
Yeah, the funny part of that whole situation is that, oh, the Banelings, oh, he got, oh, but that was like 6 High Templar. Yeah. Gee, that's so, I actually thought that was like 3. He got so many of the High Templar there. And, ooh, you can see Classic's reaction. Wait, is that live? I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, well, no, that's not live. Or that is live. That is live, I think. Yeah. I was like, oh man, yeah, you can see that he's really upset. It's like, no, he's just doing a little, movement with his face, like us humans do. I
do sometimes move my face. Yeah.
I've been the occasional face mover here or there.
Yeah, every now and then. I'm known to turn around even. Ooh. Not just my face, my whole body.
Every now and then we get a little bit closer.
Turn around.
We were playing Rock Band earlier. That was a lot of fun. Didn't get Bright Eyes though.
That was yeah. There was definitely some some interesting rock banding yesterday.
Oh, it was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun. Here at the Alienware training facility, we take.
You can train anything.
Yeah, exactly. Competitive Rock Band is a serious esport.
Yeah.
You know, it gets.
If you missed a note, you actually got kicked out of the facility for the day.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's
do or die.
Yeah, it was really tricky because like it happened to a couple of the players, and they were like,
we want to practice. No.
Well,
I left my phone inside. No.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe next time choose an easier song.
Yeah. Maybe next time don't try and pick medium. Just stick to easy. Oops.
Whoops.
Moon Dance for map number 2. So this one is Classic's pick, right? So he's got that in-base expand. That's something Protoss like, because then it's harder for the Zerg to harass you and hit you. Let's see what Solo comes up with. Honestly, like, I know Swarm Host can be a thing in this matchup, but boy, it was just not on my mind at all. Even with the Infestation, I was like, yeah, he sets up, and like I just was so heavily thinking about, oh, he's probably going to set up to Lurks, which obviously no Hydra Den comes down right, which a little bit of a tell maybe. As we get ourselves ready for this game number 2, let's start it off to the top left of Moondance. It is our Purple Zerg player from Onside Gaming, Solar.
Doing a little duck face right there. You love to see it. And spawning down in the bottom right for Onside Gaming, it is Classic. El Clásico Magnifico. Yeah, it's kind of a weird, highly unexpected setup in game number 1, where we had that incredibly quick storm going up against the Ling Bane into very fast Swarm Host. So both of them kind of feeding each other the normal information, and then, you know, like it was like they were both playing rock, paper, scissors, but they were both faking, and they were both doing it behind their backs with the real one. And it just so happened that well, I mean, Quick Storm can be okay against Locust if you get in position and you storm them while they're in the air. But Classic was nowhere near to identifying what he needed to right there. And yeah, it just snowballed.
He just had nothing in the top left, right? And this is where a second Oracle could have been huge. Info.
Yeah.
Stasis towards, like you mentioned, right? Like one stasis top left and those Locusts get caught perhaps. Boom. That's a winning move as well. Oh, not winning, but like definitely would help you out, right?
Yeah. So you mean Stasis Wardies?
Stasis Wardies, man. Stasis Wardies. These are both Stasis Wardies. They should know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my boys.
So, okay. Which one was better for you in the regular season? Of the Casters
they really did. Everyone pulled their weight. The real MVP was Bjorn. Bjorn went 10-1 or something. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was my captain, too. Everyone doubted me. They were like, what? You crazy? And I was like, no, man. My boy Bjorn. He still calls me captain, too. Checked on me the other day. He's like, hi, captain. You good?
Oh, that's...
like, yeah, bro. Go win TSL. He's like, okay.
Okay. Hey, Strawberry, hit a home run. Okay, Skip.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we got Solar. Oh, look at him go right there.
Yeah.
Oh, and very nice, very nice. Takes all 3 drones off gas right at 100. Doesn't waste any, doesn't waste any extra mining right there. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff from this first-person view. Love it.
Yeah, man, it is cool to see the first person. Like,
Oh, I
you know,
actually
when
love it,
when we're at home as well, it's like you can kind of first person, but you don't get the mouse movements, right?
Yes.
As Solar is like bouncing over the side because, well, he's like, hey guys, look, if you watch my view right now, you're looking for that warp gate start. You're making sure it's there, checking when it begins, and now I know it's a Stargate. So Solar's just teaching us as we go, as we try and. Okay.
Oh, there's got to be an adept coming across the map.
Yeah, I would have to imagine so, to double pylon to really keep that base from coming down. Yeah, has to be.
There it is. Oh, that was kind of cute. He like really achieved nothing with it, but it looked kind of cute where he's just like, oh, okay, I'll just like get it back on. Oh, and now the queen's kind of in the way a little bit. Oh, this is actually a very effective denial. Well done so far by Classic. Oh, and he goes back in. Can he get the drop? Yes. Oh my God, this is actually approaching disastrous territory right here.
Yes, as he finally deals with the one link that was dealing damage to probes as well. Hatchery will go down. So definitely slowing Solar down a lot. That hatch is going to be late. That means you're going to be missing your inject there for a while. Does have a few lings with link speed coming across, but no early third. Obviously, this is a map where you can take that in base as well at the cost of a gas and a couple of mineral patches. These lings will scout the Oracle, which is good information to have. No, it's an Oracle straight away instead of something crazy like, hey, I'm massing up Phoenix and trying to hide them away.
Ooh.
Yo, this Stalker, though, is actually going to die, and then the lings probably just run in, right? Yeah, I mean, they're committed in anyway, so run in, pull this Oracle all the way back, and just buys you time where this Oracle is, well, right now still activated, so his energy is just draining. Fantastic. Scouts the natural or the in-base expansion as well, and while I don't think we kill that probe, it's just good info. All these units have been kept back at home in Solar, just making up for a little bit of that late third hatchery he got down.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. He just, I would say, pretty much made up for that, forcing the Oracle to stay at home. That's quite nice. I was going to highlight the difference between, you know, the two early games coming on in with Classic or Solar getting the advantage in the mind game in the first game with the 15 hatch, and then Classic kind of being like, oh, I know you like to send this one ling across the map. I'm going to take advantage of that. You need 4 lings plus a drone to deny that pylon successfully. I mean, he dropped 2 anyways to like really make sure. Ooh, okay, they cancel the shade, makes sense. Spore Crawler, very well placed right there, but Classic still able to snipe a couple of drones. Not going to be able to get anything more than that. Solar, he's handling this well so far, but he's actually building pretty decent number of lings right here.
Yeah, just getting a few extra up. Really wanted to make sure that this doesn't go out of control, I suppose. You see Classic obviously third finishing, Blink and +1 start, and he is actually going to catch these 2 Adepts, force the Oracles to activate. He's going to stick for one of the Adept kills at least, so yeah, not bad from Solar. Obviously, like you say, it's a lot of lings, right? It could have been more drones at this point, and he is equal on workers, so at this stage you'd expect the Zerg to be overtaken in that worker count. So it's got to feel pretty good from Classic's point of view.
Yeah, I would say this is relatively even going into the mid game here. Once again, we do have that Forge, so no late setup here. We are seeing Solar once again taking advantage of Moondance a little bit, and he's going to get that Adept. Nice positioning on those Stalkers from Classic. I didn't think he was going to be able to get the wall in there. Very well done under the gun. It's a simple move, but I mean, any Protoss player would know that, you know, things that look simple aren't always the case. Oh, he ran out of energy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was out.
A little unfortunate.
This is fun from Solar, right? Because you dropped the Swarm Host in game 1, and obviously Lair and Banelin Nest coming up again, +1 melee. It all looks the same, right? But there's so much potential for it to change as we lose an Oracle. Classic's like, yeah, I want it to go the same way as game 1. I'm going to give you an Oracle. No, Classic, you lost game 1. You want it to be different.
No, because Classic, that's not... yeah.
Just It's like, I'm your coach right now, I don't know what to tell you.
Behind all this, Solar droning up quite aggressively, getting up to, well, it was 70 drones, now 69 as he starts up that Infestation Pit once again. Is he just going to go Lingbane Swarm Host again? Or is this going to actually be a fast hive this time? I wanted to point this out earlier. Yeah, the fact that it's a 2-building wall does mean there's a little bit more room for those lings to get in. And Solar's really trying to take advantage of that. He's not going to be able to do it. We also do have a 5th gas from Classic here. Okay, there's a Robo. Oh, okay, there. Okay, yeah. So this kind of confirms that the Hydralisk goes down. Hydralisk Den goes on down. I think we're going to be seeing a more standard setup, not necessarily, you know, Lingbane Ravager with Adrenal Glands, with all those upgrades, with the Quick Vipers, but probably, you know, Lurker Hydra Viper potentially.
Yep, as we nab a queen over here between creep spreads, and that Overlord just gets away with a little transfusion to keep it alive after. This first group of stalks is just annoying to deal with, right? But I'd say one of the main things is it hasn't been able to shut down the 4th base or anything, so Solo keeps his bases up. There's the Hive, there's the Lurk Den, pretty... This is kind of what I expect in that first game, but obviously the Hydra Den just never really came down, right? So, yeah, the Hive, Lurk Den, we move into that, and can really get going from there. And it's just going to be seeing the +2 attack, charge all in the way, and Classic's just going to keep on these units. And you got to do something before Lurkers are out, because once Lurkers are out, your gateway units just do not cut it. That army just sucks against the Lurker splash damage.
Yeah, and to that point, he was already preparing for it. He now adds on, you know, he got that quicker robo than we were used to seeing with the hero style. Obviously, that 5th gas allows him to unlock the technology a little quicker. And now he's going to go double robo disruptor. Only problem with that, of course, is that, you know, with Hive, with the Lurker upgrades, also comes those big licky boys, the big yoinky boys, the Vipers. Very optimistic Baneling morph right there. We saw the cancellation on that. And, ooh, it is going to be Hydras coming on out as well. It looks like, yeah, just an easy blink back, though. There's no Hydra speed, so he can't actually chase this army, really. A few too many stalkers.
Those lings across the map, man, just being a little bit annoying. Actually getting a little bit of value, a couple of cancels on stack defense. This is a Classic who's got a 5th base down, though, right?
Yes.
I mean, that is very just such macro focus, which you can kind of do because in a way it's like, oh, it's really just my fault in terms of danger of taking it because you've got the in-base. Now, of course, you've still got to put the minerals down for 4th, then for 5th, etc. But with the macro that he's got going, don't know if that really matters. Ling Bang going to come down here and just chase away once again. We'll grab a couple Stalkers, but I don't know how much I really love this. Feels like a lot of units going down from Solar. He's got the Lurks on the way, so I guess you get a few kills now, then you're going to show up with Lurkers. First Disruptor's going to be coming out. These Lings are still chasing. I'm not going to lie. I did not think this Ling chase was going to last so long. It's going all the way across the map. Here's the first Disruptor shot. Solar finally disengages. Oh, no! Stalker! I didn't know you could pop change on Stalkers down. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That was kind of a stumbling retreat right there from Classic. Everything kind of... Well, not everything, but it wasn't a clean disengage, and then just a little bit of an oopsie at the end. Not what you want to see. Meanwhile, Solar right on top of this warp-in. Not going to let that get up and running. He needs to leave some Lings there, or a couple Queens or something, or maybe abduct in the Warp Prism. But this is... I'm liking Solar's position a fair bit right now. My only question is, has Classic scouted the Hive? Does he know that it is done, that it is... I think that's a layer morph that he's seeing. Yeah, because it shows the shorter horns on the hatchery. So he sees a hatchery morphing into a layer. Very nice abduct right there to defend against the warp-in, as well as we've got a little Baneling run by. Going to get a couple of units here. Oh, the Disruptors!
Oh, no!
Oh, they're all exposed! He loses 4 Disruptors right away. Blinks up into the corner. He needs to recall out right the hell now. He cannot get out of here. He's going to lose so much.
Oh no, he blinks in the corner. I mean, are we ever going to recall? It seems like, oh god, even the recall isn't brilliant as he leaves a few Stalkers behind as well. Classic loses so much. The entire Disruptor can't reset, as you say. And what a great couple of moments from Solar. He had a yoink on the Prism to cancel the warp-in as well, and then you just jump on the army like that. Now the Vipers are going to come across to help you out, and these Lurkers are not stopping right now. Zealots are walking through the Lurkers, and they turn to try and fight. They will get one. That'll be about it. We Parasitic bomb down the Oracle. We abduct the Disruptors because the count just is not allowed to go up at all. We've got Banelings rolling across the map as reinforcements, and Classic is absolutely falling apart. Banelings might just want to try and... Okay, well, the Disruptors don't manage to hit anything anyways. I mean, talk about falling apart. Solo just dismantled him in a couple of swift moves right there.
Yeah, that felt like Transformers 1 right there, where, you know, it's you got Jazz versus Megatron, and he's like, oh, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? He's like, no, I want 2, and he just pulls him in half. That was a little bit violent right there out of Solar. He just... I mean, Classic gets caught with a small mistake. It's a small mistake with huge implications, which is that those Disruptors get surrounded, and Solar flips the switch, goes for it, and just cuts him down. Absolutely kneecaps him. Looks like we're going to take a look at the first kind of stumbling retreat a little bit from Classic. You can see right there the way he's kind of boxing these units a little bit frantically. And then, man, was not expecting those Lings to fly in from the side. And that comes down to what you highlighted in game number 1, even alluded to in game number 2, the Oracles. They weren't providing those revelations that are so necessary to keep tabs on the army. And Classic just looking a little bit stunned right there.
Yeah, it is rough, right? It's like, it's one of those moments where it's like, it feels like this can do so well, it feels like this can do so much, but then you just lose all the disruptors. And the thing is as well, he fired like 3-4 disruptor shots there.
Yeah.
Like, he only needs 2 disruptors to go forward, and then it's a little bit easier for the Stalkers to come in and, like, you know, hit them back. But you have all 3 disruptors, they're all stacked on top of each other, and the Stalkers are just too far back to ever really protect them as well. And I get you don't want to run your Stalkers into the Lurkers, but they could have been a bit closer and, like, behind the disruptors or so instead. Would have made probably a big difference. This is an uphill battle for Classic. He's got to play Solar's map pick right now to get on the board at all. And then he's obviously got to win 3 in a row, which is going to be tough if Solar's playing like this, because he is so far kind of just dismantling him.
Yeah, and this is the Solar that I was kind of hoping to see. Is, you know, this Solar, he looks comfortable, he looks poised, he's got that killer instinct, and he is spawning up in the top left for Onside Gaming, looking to complete a sweep here. It is Solar.
Well, down in the bottom right, he is going to need your energy and your love and your support in the chat and everywhere else from Prep Esports. Our Yellow Protoss player is Classic.
Yeah, this is the rubber meets the road moment. This is, you know, this is where, if we flash back to our previous series of the day, our first series of the day, this is where Maru, down 0-2, he digs deep. He's not in a great position, to be honest, in Game 3 for a lot of it, but he digs deep, he turns it around, makes it a series, comes back, you know, completes a reverse sweep there. Very well done in that previous series. And that's what makes champions, you know, is the ability to come back when you're down on the ropes, when you've had games that have really not gone your way. And, I mean, you mentioned it. This is Solar's map pick. This is probably the best Zerg map in the pool in ZVP. It depends a lot on what your perspectives are, how you like to play. But I think a lot of players would agree that this is a comfortable map for Zerg at the very least. It's going to be an extremely uphill battle.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just always going to be rough. I would say, at least Classic, you know, he has been that guy, right? He has been a GSL champ. He has been all the way to the top of BlizzCon, right? Maybe not a champ there, but he's won tournaments. He is a champion. He is one of these guys that has the experience, who has the mindset to get it done. So we will see if you can turn it around. It just feels like Solar's so deadly, and the thing is as well, it is just little things, I suppose, from Classic, right? It's like, you know, if his Stalker's a bit to the left, that never happens, but it's little things upon little things. Like, there's so much to fix because you're losing the Oracles early, which makes that move even more punishing. Just lots of little things that he needs to start getting absolutely right. So let's see if he can do so as the Adept will begin to Chrono Boost out. And a few drones just transfer in early, of course. Classic again. All this information. It's a Robo opener. Well, that is one way to completely 180 the games that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and is he going to go for... I think you have to go double Chrono Boost right here when you see only 3 Lings. No, he's going to go single Chrono. But he cannot let that Ling get in there and see that it's a quick Robo, the 4th Ling that's on the map. So, okay, he's going to cancel the Shade, doesn't even scout across. That makes sense. That makes a ton of sense. What do you think about Robo openers in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean... I don't know.
That's pretty telling right there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like sometimes it can work out well. It just feels like you're missing so much for so long.
Yeah.
What's he going to drop now? A Robo
Robo
Bay?
Bay.
Okay. Well, okay, in fairness, I actually feel like I like this more than anything else. Like something like crazy, like a Disruptor or Colossus drop, right? Like, I like that more than like, oh, I'm going to build a Robo and a Prism and harass with a couple gate units and take a base and then just go 12. Because then I feel like it just really doesn't do enough for what you invest into. But in this situation, it's like, well, yeah, it's a bit wild. Yeah, it's a bit wacky, but it can work, you know? Colossus drop, Disruptor drops, they can get enough damage. They can find value. So out of all the Robo openers, I do like this one the most, especially if Solar can't get forward to scout. We do see this Stalker is going to be able to finish off this Overlord or at least get close to it. So... and Overlord taking a few more shots. Classic is playing smart there, though. He does not want to get baited out just in case of the Link Flood.
Yeah, and to that point, I think he would have lost that Stalker if he had. That was a beautiful surround right there by Solar. Wow. I did not think he had the surface area to get that. Very well done.
Yeah, he just snuck it in, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. We've been talking a lot about Classic's game plan, but Solar's just been crisp. He's been on point. He's playing a great series. Oh, and it looks like, yeah, I think that's a dead Stalker. The attempt to keep that alive.
No!
He could have full walled and let the Stalker die and denied the scout. Now Solar gets a free view of this. Is he going to make any adjustments? I think you just maybe build a few lings and try and keep on top of that. Oh, wait, was it? Hang on, does he have one or two?
He has one disruptor.
He has one disruptor into Colossus. Okay.
Yeah. It's not ideal, right? I feel like the Colossus is almost like a bit of a switch around from what we saw before. Let's see what this disruptor shot can do. Fires forward. You got to be super careful with the Prism, and this is why one disruptor is kind of bad because you can't finish off queens. So. Not really ideal, to say the least. Just going to be seeing the feelings poking at the front, seeing if they can maybe get something on that third base. Classic trying to stay in the choke point with the Adepts. And yeah, so far doing a better job now at defending. And he still has that Prism coming around, looking for another location to play with on this Disruptor. So let's see what he can do.
I actually love that. We're going to see, very well placed Spore. And
no!
Oh, that was
not the response, Solar.
Yeah, that was what we call an anti-move. That was an action with.
He's like, yeah, if I build the Spore, he'll get really afraid and turn around, and yeah, not quite. Yeah, that one doesn't quite work out.
It was like he was on like a space shuttle, and it just got vision of the sun, and he put some sunglasses on, and you're like, well, you're like beside the sun. That's not going to be enough. And he's like, I think it'll be fine. And then he like takes the sunglasses back off, and like there's just whites where his eyes used to be. And he's like, you know what? You were right, actually. That was not enough, as it turned out. I do love this Spire, though. I think that's an excellent move.
Because the Mutas, A, shut down the Prism. They, B, there's nothing immediately good. Like, there's no immediate Stargate play. Did he cancel the Colossus as well? Oh no, he let the Colossus finish, then he built a second Disruptor. I mean, Spire just in general is good against Robo play. And even if Blink comes online here, it's going to be less Stalkers than usual, right? So that's a huge part of the deal, because you're going to be able to just say, cool, less Stalkers than usual, not as much defense against my Mutas, as it's just going to be a single Queen kill here, and that Prism staying.
Oh, no! Why? No, why? No, why? I just wanted to point something out. I'm hesitant to make this comment because he's in the studio and he's very strong. We've got a lot of Laser Lords for Solar right here. He built first he was building 5 and then he's built 7. But man, oh man, we've got to talk about that. Classic. Oh, if you paid really close attention, you could see that there was one pixel of clicking where he went back. Man. Oh, this is not the series for Classic that we were looking for.
And now he's about to have Mutas come across the map. He has 8 Stalkers.
The Scout just got denied, too.
Yeah, you know, honestly, like, some series are just a disaster for you, and this really is just being, so far, a disaster in full for Classic.
He's dodging. Oh, he's bobbing and weaving. He's Muhammad Ali. He does it. Beautiful moves right there from Solar.
Man, I'm kind of sad for Classic, man. Like, this is just, it's just brutal, right? Like, every part of this so far has just not been going his way. And it's not, like, obviously some of it is, like, little faults of his own, but it feels like every little fault he has been, like, fully punished to, like, the extreme, right?
Exactly.
And now, what, cannon start? Okay, hello, welcome to my Mutalist game. We jump in, first couple of Stalkers have to blink back straight away. We're going to go target those down. I mean, this is just Solar saying, I built enough Mutas to fight you. Gets a few probes as he comes out as well, and yeah, I mean, maybe not super crazy, but it's setting up for a lot of units out the front as well that can maybe get something done. I think Roach over here, Classic, at least spotting it with the hallucinations, but what the heck is defending this 4th base? 3 Stalkers warping in? Not great, and that means the Mutas can probably ping back into the natural as well, and I mean, this is just something that goes one way than the other, right? As the Muta's actually going to go to the 3rd base, and this is going to be completely defenseless, and, you know, a cannon, I guess, on the picture-in-picture, but yeah, Lings just keep on going after these probes. This is Solar just going to keep on extending his lead, and 22 workers killed. Currently fighting Stalkers with the Mutas. Everything points towards this being probably our most dominant series of the day so far.
It is certainly looking that way. Classic is going to need a miracle just to hold, and he's not finding it just yet. We've got the Lings flooding in. They've got their... Well, no, they don't have +1 melee, but the Mutas just finished up their +1 flyer attack, which means they are really ripping through those Stalkers now, especially with the Lings helping out from overhead. This is looking like we are in at the death right here. Looks like we're going to see our first 3-0 of the day. Solar Man, he came in. Oh, I didn't realize I made a Sun joke about Solar. Hey, that was look at me on my first premiere broadcast, making puns that are relevant and then not realizing it.
That disruptor in the picture just saved itself, apart from one Ling, which got to finish it off as well. Yeah.
That's that misclick at the natural in a microcosm.
You know, some of these fights as well, I feel like were really very close for like I was like, man, his meters are surely dying off, right? Like, there's not going to be enough of them. No, there always was. There was so many that came back in. Solar takes a super convincing 3-0 here, able to win this out. Unfortunately for Classic, this is just not what he wanted it to be at all for his offline appearance at TSL. It's brittle, man. You play one best of 5. Every little thing you do is punished super hard, and boom. Solar gives us the thumbs up, as it was definitely a bit of a thumbs up series from him. I mean, what a way to go without breaking a sweat. I mean, he plays one more match later today, and if you ask me how I feel about that, I feel very good for Solar.
Yeah, no kidding. That is either he plays a ZVP against another Protoss player from Korea that's not Hero, or Creator for that matter, or he plays a ZVT versus Hero Marine, who he actually beat to qualify into this. So this is, to really echo your point, if I'm Solar right now, I am feeling over the moon about that one. That is got to be a great feeling. And
especially because Classic can be such a tricky player too.
Yeah.
You know, you can go in feeling very good in your ZVP macro game and just never get the chance to play it. If Classic comes in with a couple crazy builds, things you're not expecting, all this stuff that can catch you off guard, things can go downhill so quickly for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, for Solar, gets rid of all that kind of bad stuff and is going to be able to get himself that W in this series 3-0. And yeah, for Classic, unfortunately, it's the last we're going to see of him this weekend, especially because knowing Classic, he's going to disappear off and go explore the Netherlands for the next couple of days.
You know, maybe that was his master plan all along. He's like, I've heard about this red light district. Tell me more about that. You know, it's the famous place. But yeah, we're going to be kicking things over now to the.
do you want me to throw it to the analysts right now?
No, it's fine.
You good? You talking your way out this one?
This is the perfect timing. I've got them all cracked up. They're ready to go. We're going to be heading over to the analyst desk, presented by Shopify, with Harstem and Lambo.
Yes, welcome to the Shopify Rebellion analysis chairs. Joining me this time around is going to be Lambo, and we'll be diving deep into some Protoss versus Zerg action, as we just saw a trio sweep. But we still managed to catch some cool little things, some neat little tricks, some things that might have slipped by our amazing casters. Let's hop into the first one.
So yeah, the first game opened. Both players opened very, very standard. Classic opened with the Oracles into Blink, did like a medium amount of damage, and Solar went into the +1 melee, and then into the quick infestation pit. First of all, though, I want to talk about what Classic did. He went into Storm. I'm pretty sure he prepared for Solar, and Solar played +1 melee into Hydra Bane a lot recently. And so if you fake the hero style, where you open with a lot of Stalkers, and then go into Storm, you're set up really, really well defensively to go into late game, whereas the Zerg invests a lot into the Hydralisks. As we know, obviously, Solar did not do that. He went for the Infestation Pit, where he had a couple of options. There, with the Link Pod we just saw, he actually scouted the High Templars for the first time, and then, as a response, went into the Swarm Host and the Nidus. And that actually works out kind of nicely, because the weakness of the Swarm Host is that it's difficult to bring them out on the map to get up the Nidus Swarms, but with the Lynx, he had full map control. And so it was difficult for Classic to prevent the Swarm Host to arrive at his side of the map. And he just got caught kind of off guard by a style that I don't think I've ever seen, really.
Yeah, same. I never really seen the Link Bane into Swarm Host. Yeah, we could pop into the next clip where we have the, I believe, the first Swarm Host wave coming in. And this is the first person of Classic. And he really had, well, no clue whatsoever. I mean, he heard the Nidus, but he wasn't really prepared for it. And everything just kind of fell apart. No battery here meant that he couldn't heal the Nexus. Yeah, he started building it now, but that's a little bit too late. And then, yeah, this type of stuff happens.
Yeah.
I think at this point the game is pretty much over.
Absolutely. He was just completely caught off guard. Usually you want to prevent Niduses from going up, but I think with his setup it was very difficult for him to leave the base, so he just needs to pre-split a little bit better.
Yeah.
Storm is actually very good against Swarm Host at clearing the waves, even though you're trading energy for a resource, but that resource is time, actually. So once you hold the first couple of waves, the waves will become weaker and weaker. So I think Classic had a nice setup anyways to defend against it, even though We saw him die in this case, just not having any storm. So let's get straight into game 2, where the game actually started off with a block from Classic, and Solar actually started attacking this pro very, very late with the Zerglings. So Classic figured, hey, I can actually block this until the Adept arrives, and we can see in the production tab right now that Solar has 0 Overlords on the way. He hoped that he was going to get down this hatchery, and even if he did get down the hatchery, the Overlord would already be too late. So he got caught completely off guard by this, which meant that Classic actually had a nice early game going for him there.
Yeah, this was legit one of the worst starts that you can have with that supply block. Like getting your this third base block sucks, but it's not that bad if you just get an Overlord, right? This was garbage. I mean, he was floating 500-600 minerals almost. But yeah, he also went for a very quick Evo chamber behind this. And you always say that if you're playing fast Evo chamber with a +1, life generally kind of sucks if you have a bad early game.
Yeah.
Now, another interesting thing that happened this game is not so much this Stalker push out, but it's the fact that Classic is floating almost 900 gas during this, which makes very little sense. He continues floating all of this gas basically the entirety of the game. Only at like I think the 10 or 11 minute mark does he finally get rid of some of this gas. It felt like he was always getting ready to transition into Storm or Templars, but instead he made this very, very odd transition into Stalker Disruptor eventually, but still off of a single forge. Like he had no upgrades on a mass gateway army, and Disruptors as the only splash that entered the game so late that Vipers were already out.
Yeah, absolutely. Against very high Zergling count, it's very difficult to play against without any Archons. And here we will see the game-deciding moments. Basically, he has 3 Disruptors. They're all caught off guard at the very front. He trades them all for 1 Lurker. The other one doesn't even shoot. And then he only has the Stalkers. And I can't really recall because you can't catch all of these Stalkers. The recall isn't that big. So yeah, he tries to trade as effectively as possible, but it all just starts falling apart. Right before that, we also saw him get his War Prism abducted, a Baneling run by to distract, and now the Lurkers got into position on his own 5th base for completely free, and that really closed out the game quite nicely for Solar. Yeah, I have to question the army composition of Classic in that game a little bit there, because yeah, I think Solar countered it quite easily.
Yeah, and also I mean that move out on the map like this, the moment Adrenal is finished, Vipers are out, feels kind of useless. Yeah, Solar just basically wins the game here. Not much to see. And then the final game, what was this entire interaction in Lambo? This isn't supposed to happen. Not at this level.
Yeah, this is not supposed to happen. I think Solar just made a couple of safety links just in case, and then he ended up canceling the 3rd base of Classic. And with this build order, you only have 2 gates. You really hope for the Nexus to just get up, and then you have that Adept in there, and then maybe you can warp in another one. You're kind of safe. But yeah, just the couple of links really won Solar the game. This is also a situation where, as a player, you're already down 0-2, and then it just feels like everything is going wrong as the Protoss player. Like at this point, then the links also get into the base. They see the Robo Bay, and at this point, I think it's difficult to even just stay in it mentally as the Protoss player. Likewise, as a Zerg player, this just feels amazing. You made a couple of links, you got a lot of stuff done. Your opponent's build order got thrown off entirely. I'm not even sure if he would have made that Colossus if he got the 3rd base up. He just needed to spend his money somehow. So
yeah.
And yeah.
What do they say again? When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
And here, it truly starts pouring. I mean, he loses the slow it down real slow. Yeah. Nice zooming in there as well. That's all we love to see. Yeah, I mean, it's already so good, right? Because Solar knew exactly what was happening. He could prepare the Mutalisk. Usually, you're not really allowed to build Mutas against this. He went up to 8 gas immediately. Did not need to build any roaches whatsoever, so had infinite resources to just pump out pure Muta into Link. That just completely destroys this type of composition. The first game, honestly, out of Classic, it looked really smart. It looked clever, the way that he played. He had good stuff prepared, and after that, it felt like Solar was just 600-700 MMR better than him. Yeah,
absolutely. I think Solar just outplayed him there, and like, for example, in this game, he just played better than him. If you play that perfectly, that Protoss build order, if you get away with what he was trying to do, you cannot really get Mutas out. On paper, if you get Muta Ling against Stalker Disruptor, that's good. But the Protoss will be on the map before your Mutas will ever be out. So it's very difficult to go for that. But Solar obviously knew he was in a fantastic position, and he just closed it out very nicely here with the Mutas. There was really nothing Classic could have done. You can't really go. You don't even have a Stargate, so you can't go into Phoenix. All he was hoping for was for a mistake, which Solar absolutely didn't do this series.
Yeah, mechanically very strong Solar and Classic. I think one nice little build order. The rest just fell apart from the start. Yeah, Solar just looked so much better. And we'll be talking with that winner right now, as I believe Ravi is ready with an interview.
Just played better. Couldn't have said it better myself. And strong words from our analyst. I'm here with Solar after his victory, who seems like you agree more or less that you just played better.
Yeah, actually, I was pretty confident about my matches. Yeah, but so the games were pretty going through my way. Our games was pretty ahead. So yeah, it was easy win actually. Yeah.
Solid. Well, it feels like you actually tend to do pretty well versus Classic specifically. Were you at all worried or feeling pretty good about like your, I guess, match versus Classic, especially after it's kind of like your revival for TSL, right? Because you ended up coming in as like another replacement after you had to play some tiebreaker matches.
Yeah, actually, I got a better bracket than before after tiebreaker. Like I was supposed to play against a hero instead of him, but it's really terrible. So yeah, I got really lucky into this tournament. Also, I was pretty confident against Protoss also. So yeah, it is fine. It is very good.
Nice. Well, you have a reputation as being unbeatable in early game stages of tournaments where your group stages you always seem to steamroll through, but then actually winning the events is always a little bit tougher, it feels like. How are you feeling coming into TSL 9, your chances at not just, making a deep run, but like really winning?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I'm pretty predictable player. Like I like to play very stand-up plays also. Yeah, but on this tournament, I think like many players doesn't prepare a lot compared to the other one. So yeah, I have better chances, I feel.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially with like a 3-day tournament kind of setup. Well, your next opponent is either going to be Hero Marine or Zhao. Do you have any strong opinions on who you'd prefer to play or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I want to play against Hero Marine. Zone is pretty strong opponent, I feel. And Hero Marine, I feel, yeah, he is good, but I don't feel he's very hot against Zerg. He always whining about Zerg. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, you actually played Hero Marine in the tiebreakers to like make it to this event as well, right? So you feel those matches went really well in your favor?
Hello?
Oh, the games that you played versus Hero Marine, you feel pretty confident about how everything went.
Yeah, I'm very confident against him, but we'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any final shout outs or anything? Your new team or?
A big shout out to my new team, Onside Gaming. They support me a lot. Also, thanks for the great strategies on game 1. Shout out to my boy Lex.
All right. Shout out to him. But congratulations again, and we'll be seeing you in the round of 8. Thank you so much, Solar, and we'll see you guys after the short break. Stay tuned.